Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is my review of the 2021 sports drama American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story. Now, before I get around to sharing more of my thoughts on this film, I want to give a special shout out to Brock for requesting this review. If there is another film, TV show, or topic that you would like to see me discuss in the future, feel free to donate to my PayPal. The link will be in the video description down below, and I will try to get to it as soon as I possibly can. Now, American Underdog is a film that I was honestly looking forward to because I have always believed that the Kurt Warner story could make for a fantastic football film. And the trailer looked like it had some promise. I thought it had some really nice bits of casting, especially for the actor playing Kurt Warner with Zachary Levi. I thought that was a great, brilliant bit of casting. And you had other supporting actors that were very capable, like Anna Paquin, Dennis Quaid. So I felt that this might be something that might work. And then I saw it. And instead of a touchdown, it was more like a last-second missed field goal. like Blair Walsh missing a game winner for the Vikings against the Seahawks. That kind of thing. Or Scott Norwood and his kick in the Super Bowl for the Bills against the Giants, where it went wide. So, yeah, it was not what I would personally call a success. It was not a touchdown. It was a fumble. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't a straight up interception fest where the quarterback was just turning the ball over multiple times and throwing multiple pick sixes or anything. But at best, it was average and entirely forgettable. And the reason for that is the film played it way too safe when it comes to the storytelling, and it only told half the story, which was really frustrating. Kurt Warner has an amazing story, and it goes far deeper than just the stuff that you know and you've heard about him not making it in the NFL and then working as a overnight clerk at a supermarket, and then he goes to the Arena Football League, and then he winds up becoming the starting quarterback for the St. Louis Rams and wins a Super Bowl. Like, there's more to the story than just that. And this film only tells half his fucking story, which is incredibly frustrating. And I know I've repeated that word numerous times, but it bears repeating when it comes to this movie. Now, it's directed by Andrew Erwin and John Erwin, the Erwin brothers. They are well known for directing a fair amount of pure flicks Christian films, and you can definitely tell. I get it, Kurt Warner is a Christian, and it's a big part of his life and everything, but that doesn't mean that you have to hire only Christian directors to direct your biopic. It really limits you in terms of what you're able to put together. And as a result, the film looks incredibly cheap. And on top of that, there's no real impact to a lot of the football scenes, because you got a guy who's never shot any action before in his entire life. So you have some guy who, or two guys really, who don't have any experience shooting anything action orientated. So none of the football scenes have that impact or that power that watching highlights can give you. It doesn't provide you that same adrenaline rush. And then on top of that, everything else just looks so stock, so standard, so run-of-the-mill when it comes to the direction. Not a lot of creativity when it comes to the angles or the movement or different zooms or pans or anything. It looks about as good as you would possibly get from a low budget student film. And even then, I've seen student films that show more creativity when it comes to the direction. So, yeah, the direction really was a sack and a fumble. And then you have the writing, which has its moments. I will say this, it does a good job really fleshing out Kurt Warner as a person and shows his life and the relationship that he starts to build with his wife and her kids. And that is definitely the heart of the film, which the film focuses on quite a bit. And I get it. I understand why it's trying to really focus on Kurt and Brenda and their story. But it's not as compelling or as interesting as the film thinks it is. And then on top of that, the football stuff, maybe 15 minutes tops if you add it all up and if you're being generous. And that's just unacceptable for a football movie where the majority of the script is focused on family drama. It's focused on the drama with Brenda and Kurt and their relationship and its rise and its falls and its recovery and so on and all the rocky parts of it. It's focused a lot on the arena football stuff and the NFL stuff, which the film was heavily marketed with. And the focus of the marketing was on the NFL stuff, with Kurt in the NFL playing for the Rams. That doesn't start until there's like 30 minutes left in the movie. So there's not a lot of that. And what you saw in the trailer was pretty much what you ultimately see in the final film. There's a few extra stuff here and there, some football scenes, but for the most part, a lot of the stuff you saw in the trailer is the best that you're going to get with the football scenes. So that is really a disappointment and a major letdown. And the film comes alive when it starts to focus on his journey in the NFL, when he has that opportunity to show that he can do it, and he takes over for Trent Green, and he builds a relationship with Dick Vermeil. Like, that is really when the film comes alive. And it's frustrating because you're like, hey, why the hell did we not see this early on? Why are we focusing on the majority of the running time on stuff that really doesn't have anything to do with football or the NFL? We're focusing on family drama, which, while it's well acted and for the most part well written, it's not something that it really draws you in. It's not something that really makes you want to pay for a ticket or pay to stream or rent this film for. It's about the Kurt Warner story. It's about his story as a football player. That's what people know him the most for. They don't know him the most for his relationship with his wife. Sorry. That's just how it is. So there's not a lot of the football stuff. The NFL stuff takes too long to get going. But when it does get there, it's alright. It's fine. It could have been better. It probably would have had a chance to be better if you had better directors or a better director. Doesn't even have to be a series of directors. It could just be one competent, skilled director who's shot sports films before. And a script that is focused more on football. You can have family. I'm fine with that. You don't have to make that the main focus of the film. I just think that was a huge error in judgment when it comes to the writers. And another error is it doesn't talk about the entirety of his career. Some of the most interesting stuff to me personally when it comes to Kurt Warner is what happened after he won the Super Bowl for the Rams and won MVP and had that amazing year. Because he did not go on to have a consistent series of successful stints in the NFL. He had some bumps in the road. He had some moments where he lost his starting job. He had some moments when he was a backup quarterback for the New York Giants. And then, of course, you have his journey with the Arizona Cardinals, which was once again an instance where he was a veteran backup quarterback for Matt Leinart. Leinart got hurt, and then he was able to come in, and then he had a resurgence. But they don't really showcase that at all, other than a little bit near the end, at the end credits, with some text and some pictures. And that's it. That's all you get when it comes to the second half of Kurt Warner's career. Actually, that's all you get when it comes to the majority of Kurt Warner's career. They only talk about his 1 year in the NFL with the Rams when he won the Super Bowl, when it comes to what you see on film and with Zachary Levi and with Anna Paquin and with these other actors like Dennis Quaid and so on. That's all you get. And that's a measly, paltry sum of what his career was. So yeah, the script, really not the best. Not the worst either. Because like I said, the family stuff, it does work. I think they focus a little bit too much on his on and off again relationship with Brenda. But I do like the relationship and the bond that he forms with Brenda's son. I like that a lot. I think the film did a good job with that. And the arena football stuff was entertaining. And it did a good job making you like and root for Kurt Warner as a person, and provided a lot of stuff that Zachary Levi could work with. And even when it comes to the NFL stuff, like I did like the way that it portrayed Dick Vermeil. I liked the bits with Mike Martz. So there were a lot of moments that showed a lot of promise, and that's what makes the film so frustrating, because you're like, this could have been great. This could have been a really compelling, excellent football drama. And what we have is like a TV movie of the week. We have something that you really would not be surprised to see on Lifetime. So it's like, damn, like this really should have been so much better. But the cast is not a problem. I think the cast is great. It's definitely one of the best things about the film. Zachary Levi, I thought he did a remarkable job as Kurt Warner. I honestly think it's one of his better performances as an actor. He was very likable, was very charismatic, was very charming. He showed a lot of range when it comes to his emotions and what he brought to the character, and at least not it's a real person, but you know what he brought to the role. Anna Paquin also was amazing as Brenda, despite kind of a dorky, not very good wig that she was wearing. Other than that, it was a good performance. She showed a lot of range as well, had good chemistry with Zachary Levi. Dennis Quaid, one of my favorite actors. He was great as Dick Vermeil. It was a really good bit of casting, and the few scenes that he had with Zachary were really good. That's another reason why it's disappointing. I wanted to see more of those scenes because they were legitimately intriguing and well put together, and the two had some good moments with one another, and it was something that you wanted to see more of, and it just was so disappointing that you didn't get more of it. Chance Kelly, I completely forgot that it was Chance Kelly. I thought it was Mike Martz. Like, it was such a great chameleon-like performance as Mike Martz. He also had a few other actors, like Adam Baldwin. He plays Kurt's college football coach. Terry Allen. Bruce McGill, he plays Jim Foster, the owner of the arena football team. It was fun to see those two, and they did a nice job with their roles as well. Hayden Zaller, I wanted to mention him, who played Zach Warner, Brenda's son. I thought that kid was absolutely spectacular. I thought it was some of the best kid acting I've seen in a while. Um, and you had a few other people, like there was a guy named O.J. Key Simpson who played Marshall Falk, and Nick Harris who played Ray Lewis. You also had Cindy Hogan who played Sue Warner, Danny Vinson who played Larry, Cora Kate Wilkerson who played Jesse Joe Warner. You had a couple other people that were played by actors as well, like Steve Mariucci, Reggie White, Brett Favre, Trent Green, Isaac Bruce, Mike Holmgren, and Ty Detmer. But really, the main focus of the film is on Anna Paquin and Zachary Levi. I also wanted to mention Sir Darius Blain, who I think, yeah, he played a friend of Kurt's, who was a teammate in college and then was also a teammate in arena football. So, good cast. Definitely not a problem. The cinematography by Christopher Kimlin. There's a lot of times where it leaves a lot to be desired. There are moments where it looks like stuff was shot behind a green screen, or the way that it was shot, it just looks fake. It just does not look real. And that really took me out of a good amount of the football scenes. The editing by Sean Albertson and Andrew Erwin, there are some moments too with that where the editing, it just doesn't really have that extra gear that I think would have helped it, especially in the football scenes. What little bit that you have, just kind of it is very monotonous and just beat for beat, paint by numbers, much like the majority of the film. The music by John Debney, honestly, some of his most forgettable work. He's a really capable and genuinely great composer, and this is just stuff that he just sleepwalked through. He just was hired, got the money, wrote some generic inspirational sports music, and called it a day. Like, it was nothing special whatsoever. And the film was 112 minutes, and it went by at an okay pace. It could have been tighter paced if there were more football scenes, if there was more balance, and when it comes to Kurt's life behind the scenes versus his life on the field. But despite my feelings on it, I would recommend checking it out if you're a fan of Kurt Warner, and if you're a fan of the Rams, or you're a fan of football, and it's something that interests you. But keep in mind that this is a film that's very sanitized, it's very cookie cutter, it's very clean. There are not going to be a lot of surprises. It's not going to tell you the full story of Kurt's career. And when it comes to the football stuff, there's not going to be a whole lot of it. So keep that in mind. If you look at it more as a family drama with some football, then I think it's something that might entertain you or keep your interest more consistently than it did for me. And maybe it wouldn't disappoint you as much as it did for me either. But that's my thoughts on American Underdog, and as always, I will see you later. See ya.